Hi everybody, my name's Michelle and I'm Mama Loves You GB here on FlossTube, but also over on Instagram and Etsy as well. Welcome to the Sunday morning briefing. It is the 13th of February today, which means it's Valentine's Day tomorrow, so happy Valentine's Day if you choose to celebrate. I hope you are doing something nice or making Monday special in some way, just because it's a Monday, why not? There are worse days to try and make special, aren't there? They're usually, the Mondays, the Monday feeling can be terrible unless you really try and make the effort on a Monday. Right, 10,000 subscribers! Yay! Got there, 10,000 subscribers. Oh, it boggles my mind. It absolutely boggles my mind. When I first started this, I think it's nearly about 18 months ago now, I would have been happy if there were 50 people watching me. So the fact that there's 10,000 people who've hit the subscribe button blows my mind, completely blows my mind. It has brought so much joy to my life to meet lots of other people, to talk about stitching, to do something that I love. It brings an immense amount of pleasure to me, and I hope that in some way it brings a little bit of pleasure to you as well. I've got some really busy times with work coming up in the lead up to the exams, more than ever this year, because of the background, because of them, you know, whichever exam class we're talking about, they've not been in school for a lot of the previous 2 years. There's more pressure than ever this year to sort of help them, and extra classes and things like that, because they need it. They need their extras. So I was thinking, oh, should I cut down to maybe doing 2 a month, once a fortnight? And then I was like, no, I really enjoy it. And so that's the last thing that will go. That's the last thing that will go. Make concessions elsewhere, but I'll do my best to keep doing it every week, because I do enjoy it. Right, 2 things I want to talk to you about. First of all, that are just non-stitchy related, and they've just, both of them made my day today in completely different ways. So the first one was something that arrived in the post, and as I said, it's non-stitchy related. And Chris actually bought this. And it's a print from a company called Luna Baboon in Canada. And it really struck a chord with him, and it really strikes a chord with me, probably for a slightly different reason. And it's this print here, so I'm going to try and show you. And so basically it's a small child being told to tidy up. Now, I know that feeling. And the bottom half of the print shows you how the child sees the mess, not as mess, but as opportunities, as playthings, as in their imagination. What you see as mess is something completely different to them. And sometimes I have to remind myself that when I'm trying to get Ness to tidy away all her bits and bobs, that if you just turned 180 degrees and looked into my corner of the room, my corner of the room could probably look very, very similar. She would see it in the top, all Mama's boring stitchy stuff, whereas I see it at the bottom like that. A world of opportunity and interest, bright colours, whereas everybody else just sees it as mess. So I loved this print. I thought it was beautiful. And I just got to give credit to the company, actually. It came from Canada, and this is the 3rd one that they sent us. The first one didn't arrive, the second one didn't arrive, and so they actually refunded our money. And the person at the company said, I am determined to get that print to you. So they then sent it recorded delivery from Canada, free, because they'd already refunded our money. So Chris, his name is. So I'm going to put the link down below. Go and have a look at them. They've got some beautiful, beautiful things. And the second thing that has made my day today, I don't know if I remember, or if you remember me telling you back in the summer that we went to see the world famous Gifford Circus. And I was only talking about it today, actually, seeing if we could see if there were tickets for the new shows, because they do a new show every year, and what should arrive in the post. This was obviously just karma, was their new invitation to the new show. And this is what came in the post. It's flattened, but I'm not going to flatten it down again. But look at that. Look at that. That's what came in the post. Their new show is called Carpa. It's a Mexican inspired show this year. Last year it was an Irish inspired show, and you can see at the back there, there's a performer. The world famous Tweedy is going to be there again, and on the back it has all the dates. I've already booked. I've literally already booked. So as soon as this came and I put it together, I haven't told Ness yet because she thought it was one of the most marvellous things she'd ever been to. So I can't wait to tell her tomorrow, and no doubt she will want this on her shelf. So I'll put the link for Gifford Circus down below. They are all over the country. Well, not quite all over the country. You've got dates in Wiltshire, Gloucestershire, Hertfordshire, some dates in London, Nottinghamshire. So go and check them out. They were phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. And I've booked again. So that was my two little bits of non-stitchy related stuff that really, both of them have made my day today. The other thing that made my day today was that Ness went for a birthday party, and it was a drop and go birthday party. Even better. So Chris and I went to the local wildlife centre. They've got a lovely cafe there, so we actually sat and had lunch, and I did some stitching out in the wild, and he read his book for a bit. It was amazing. Just amazing. Right, what have I been doing this week? So this week I have started 3 new things, and I have finished 3 things. Well, 2 things are completely finished, 1 is a finish for now. So let me just put those out the way. Use the sky hooks that I've got over there. So let me show you my finish for now, if I can remember where it is. So I showed you last week that I had nearly finished the second block from the 12 Days of Christmas by Vivsters, and I've got mine on the silk app. But once I'd done a little bit more digging, I found that she's also got an Etsy store, so you can buy the chart via her Etsy store as well, and I will link it down below. I did link it last week, but I'll link it again. And I finished the second bit, and I still haven't done that bit. I meant to do that tiny little bit that I forgot from number 1, and I still haven't done it. Oh well, I've got 10 more chances to remember to do it. So that is the second one. Well, you can't see very well probably the little white sort of, I don't think they're necessarily snowflakes, but the little white doodads that are in the background. So I'm stitching this 1/2 on a piece of hand-dyed linen, and as I said, I think I'm going to stitch mine so that there's 6 blocks along the top and 6 blocks in the second row. So I finished that completely, apart from that first bit I've just seen. So I finished that completely. I also started and finished, excuse me, I'm just ferreting through. I showed you this little chart last week. This was my freebie from last week, the Stone Street Stitchworks Quaker Rose. And while I was waiting for my video to kind of upload and play through and put all the quotes links in, I thought I'd stitch that because it really wasn't very big. So this is it, and it's stitched in a limited edition Gentle Art that came in the Patchwork Rabbit advent calendar. So it just says the Gentle Art limited edition, and it's kind of like a lovely heather purple. And I just found a little bit of, have I got something to put behind it? Let's try that. A little bit of fabric that I found. It's a 32 count, so I used 2 strands and just stitched that up. Now I'd seen it finished as a strawberry when I saw it on somebody's Instagram, and I think it will probably make quite a nice strawberry. So if I could just fold it into sort of where it would be, so it would sit like that. Obviously the top would be nicely neatly tucked in. Or I did think about just doing maybe a little heart-shaped hanging ornament or something. I don't know, not sure. My original plan was a strawberry. I might see how it works out. So I finished that. I started it and finished it. And the other thing, now if you follow me on Instagram, you will know what this is. Now I meant to show this last week and I just completely forgot, because obviously it was the Queen's Platinum Jubilee last weekend actually. So 70 years since she became Queen, because she became Queen in 1952. She was actually crowned, the coronation took place in 1953, but she was actually became Queen in 52. So that's why it's 70 years. And I'd picked out this little chart called Corgi Love by the Snowflower Diaries, and it's a download on Etsy. And she's actually got 15% off at the moment, I think till the end of Valentine's Day. So if you fancy this, go and check it out. And I used the colour Inspiration and changed a few things up and stitched it on a piece of Murky in Sulky. And there she is. There she is, my little Queenie. And so, like I said, on a piece of Murky, it's not a terribly dark piece where she's actually stitched, but it is Murky, using various different sulkies, all solid colours except for the little flowers, which I used the variegated yellow one. And I don't know if you can see, but I have actually, there's a needle in there somewhere. But there's two needles in there. There's a beading needle and a normal needle, double whammy. So I've used just some little Mill Hill beads in the centre of her crown bit there, and at the top there in the Black Prince's ruby. Now the Black Prince's ruby is not a ruby, it's a spinel, but it's always known as the Black Prince ruby. And she's got a little pearl necklace as well. And I wanted to finish her into a little sort of hanging flat fold with, actually I wanted to do one of those ones where you put the pins around the border, and I've got some pins, I think. Where are they? Yeah, there they are. I bought some of these from Amazon, just a pack of dressmakers pins, but they come in all sorts of different colours for doing those kind of pin borders. So I shall probably use the cream ones and the purple ones, and maybe the yellow ones as well. So I needed a front and I wanted to have a back as well. So I charted the Royal Cipher, which is just that one. So just ER with the Elizabeth II in the middle there, stands for Elizabeth Regina, 70 years underneath, and I used the same yellow to do the crown, which is why I'd wanted my flowers to be yellow, because I wanted to do the yellow crown. She's lovely there with her corgi. Having said that, she's just got a brand new dog. I don't know if you saw it in the papers, and it's a spaniel, a shooting spaniel. So, but she's still got plenty of corgis. So that's going to be my back. That's going to be my front. I might have to do something a little bit, because I think even with my carefulness and the fact that I've got plenty of space, it might be a bit too high. It might just be a little bit too high. So I'll see. I'm sure I can fiddle it somehow, some way. So that was a start and finish as well. And then the other thing that I started, now, did I bring up the charts? Oh please, talk amongst yourselves. I sometimes say that in class and then really regret it. Ah, there it is. So this one came, which is the March version of the cottage garden samplings, which I always have to think about. And this is A Year in the Woods. And this is the Jackrabbit. So exciting, because it means I'm onto a new colour of fabric. I'm onto the green, which would be the Picture This Plus, I think it's felt, that was the called for if you were doing them on the separate colours. And so I've got a little bit of a start. I would have had more of a start had I not had to frog something, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. So I've got the vine, or some of the vine at the side. You can see there's a little bit more to go there, and I've started on the bunny's bottom. Now the bit that I had to frog, I'd done quite a lot of this, and even started on these little shadings, and I'd done them in black because on the chart it's a square filled in. That is the universal symbol for 310, is it not? Not on this chart. 310 isn't even in this chart. I know, because I just put all my flosses onto floss cards. So I knew 310 wasn't even in this chart, and yet when I came to stitch it, I actually got some 310 out and stitched the 310. So then I had to pull it back out and put in the grey, which I think is 317. So the fancy flosses this time are the grey and the purple, which are, I'm just keeping all mine on the one ring, so every time I get some new flosses, and I'm getting mine from Peakside Needleworks, I'm on the auto ship, and I get Sue to send me the DMC as well. I bought all the fancy flosses for them. I showed you them a few weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago, because if you go onto the Cottage Garden Samplings website, you can see the floss colours for I think about 6 months. So the grey is aged pewter, and the purple is Weeks Dye Works lilac, and I'll probably need certainly 2 of the pewter. I don't think I'll need 2 of the lilac, but I'll need 2 of the pewter. And so yeah, I just put them onto my floss drops. So apologies for not knowing who these came from, but they are those ones. And then on the back I just write, where is it? I just write the DMC number in pencil, it's probably going to blow out, and then at the top I just write which chart it's from. So this one, 3799, is actually in chart 2 and it's in chart 3. And I did do a little bit of work because I felt a bit guilty starting that one, having not finished either of the previous 2. So I did do a little bit of work on the swans. So there we go. There's the swans. I just did a little bit more of the white fill in. The reason that I started this one without having finished this one is because mine are all going on there, on each going in a row. I want to just sort of start them and make sure I can fit the next one on and fit the next one on. There's not going to be any trouble with the fabric, but I just want to have a good start on each one, even if I haven't completely finished each one. So I can't wait, because this is going to be quite a big, I can't even hold it up, quite a big piece once it's all put together. I'm sure you can imagine. I'm doing a rubbish job today. I actually sent Christina from Whilst Iris Snaps a message this morning, asked her to find out some information. I actually wanted to send her something in the post, and I knew I had her address, I couldn't flick back through all the messages. So I just said to her, oh, can you send me your address again? I'm a pale imitation of a person this morning, just one of those things. A little bit of random floss. Looks like it comes from the rabbit. So that is what I have worked on this week. Not too bad, not too bad. Right, get that back in there, otherwise I'll end up losing it. Winners, competition winners. Now 2 weeks ago I did a competition for Crowsfeet Stitching. She got 2 new samplers out, Ruthie, and she'd given me 2 to give away, 1 of each one. One of Juliana Coleman and one of Anne Newbold. And I'm sorry if you just saw my eyes dip down there, because I've got it right down the bottom there. I was going to draw it last week, but I was still getting quite a lot of comments coming through on the previous week's video, so I thought I'd just leave it another week just to give as many people as possible a chance to enter. So Number 1, I'll put the pictures up, Julina Coleman, was won by Kathy Huff. Well done, Kathy. And the second one, and again, I'm looking down. Oh, my terrible writing. I'm going for Janine Draper. I know the surname's definitely Draper, and I'll put the screenshot words today up the top there. And she'd actually made a comment that the 4th of March, which is what is stitched onto this sampler, is her birthday. So not only has she got the sampler that matches her birthday, but she'll have it in time to start on her birthday if she so wishes. So congratulations to you two. If you can drop me an email or a message on Instagram with your own email address, then I will pass the information on to Ruthie, and Ruthie will email out to you, English grammar, your charts. Congratulations. Fluffed that one, didn't I? Anyway, I have got a couple of little purchases to show you, one of which happens to be a new sampler. Right, anyway, let's show some purchases and some freebies. Let's do the freebies first. I've got 2 freebies today. The first one is by the Snowflower Diaries. And it's this one, Truly Madly Deeply. I just thought that was so pretty. Just a tiny little vase of flowers, and it says Truly Madly Deeply on it. Love it, love it, love it. And the other one I've literally only just printed out because I was flicking through Instagram, as is my wont, and there was a beautiful bowl of Valentine's themed pillows, and there was one in there. And somebody had obviously found this picture and said, right, Hive Mind, can you tell me who charted each of these? And one of them was actually a freebie by The Primitive Hare, which is on her blog, and it's for Valentine's, and it's this one, and it looked absolutely beautiful stitched up. So I'll put the links to both of those below, just in case you've got some time to whiz into action before Valentine's Day. I think they're both lovely. So those 2. I'll put them both down. Right, haul. Now, I said last week that I had ordered a couple of charts, and these came from Arts and Designs. This one is Harriet Goddard, which I'm sure you've seen. Now, I ordered this one because I have the threads, the silk threads from Amy Mitten, Fibres to Die For. So I needed that one really. And then this one I got because I've been watching Karen and Bren and from Fox and Rabbit, and just in the background, sort of pretty much between the two of them, is this sampler. Now, I nearly bought this when it came out at market last year, and I didn't. So I have to get it. So first of all, just love the house, love the parrot, love the monkey type thing underneath there. It says, commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. So I'm not quite sure. I'll probably change that at the top, but I'll just see if there's any information. No. But everything else will stay the same. And I think I even have a piece of eucalyptus. I think it's a 36 count rather than a 40 count, but I will have a dig and see what I can find. Charted in classic colour works with the exception of 1 week's dye works. So love that. Suits my quirkiness, my quirky side, that one. And this little lady. Oh no, one other thing. I'm all fingers and thumbs today. I bought this, which is Sampler Stitching notebook for keeping track of sampler stitching and other historic needlework projects. And I bought this from Amazon, and it was only like £8. DPD delivered it today, left it on my doorstep in a weather warning. So I don't know if you can see, it's taken a bit of a warp to it. Not much, but a bit of a warp to it. So I did phone Amazon in a bit of a huff, and pointed out that I had a massive letterbox, a parcel sized letterbox, and so there was no reason why this book could not have gone through the door, why it had to be left on the doorstep, and they said that they would send me out another copy and that I didn't need to return this one. So if there's anybody in the UK who would like this, as I said, it's got a little bit of a warp to it. It's not terrible, but it's got a little bit of a warp to it. But I figured if I'm paying for it, I'm not having one that's warped. But if you're not paying for it and you would like this one, I will gladly send it to you. So let me just show you what's in. So basically, it's just got double page spreads for you to, when you're stitching a sampler or when you finish stitching a sampler, you can put all of the details down there. Okay, I'm looking at it as it's just going to help the ladies in the charity shop to know what I've stitched. So this is by Ardith Designs. Like I said, it's freely available on Amazon. If you would like this, if you don't mind the little bit of warp to it for free, then just put the word bird in your comment and I will send it to you. But please be in the UK. This is it's going to be too expensive to send abroad. So in the UK, if you fancy this in its kind of wavy ways, put the word bird and I'll pick someone and I'll send it to you. And I have sent out my other giveaways. I know I've been a terrible person at getting those giveaways out, the ones that are proper charts, but they are on their way. I posted them, they are on their way. Right, let's talk about the new sampler. This is Mary Monkhouse. Now Mary Monkhouse survived almost the post. Almost. Not entirely. So here she is, and as you can see, just the corner of the glass broke, but I can get new glass. I'm not too worried about that. Now I'd seen this little lady on eBay and I hadn't really taken much notice of her. I thought a nice little pretty sampler, not too expensive, nice. I did like the colours and whatever. And then I looked carefully, she says, easy for me to say, apparently not, at the frame. And then I looked at the back of the frame, which the seller had also photographed. This is a genuine frame from 1881, and it was framed in 1881. And I'll show you how I know in a minute. But look at the frame. It's a painted frame with tiny little black stars on it and these kind of gothic corners, and it is entirely correct. It's not a new frame and I've just never seen anything like it. And to be perfectly honest, what I paid for it, I would have paid for the frame. Now, how do I know it was framed in 1881? Because it says so on the back. This is paper from 1881. Now I haven't had a chance to read through everything that's on the back of here, but I will do. But the back has helped me to identify my Mary, and I know she's upside down now because the paper's upside down on the frame. The back has helped me to identify my Mary, because when I was thinking about bidding on it, I did a little bit of research to see if I could find her. And so she stitched this in, where are we, 1872, when she was 12. Probably just a school piece, no great feat of sort of pictorial samplership, just some simple alphabets, nice colours. So she stitched this when she was 12. So she was born in 1860. And so I did a little bit of digging on Ancestry, which is one of my favourite things to do. I found a few. There's about 3 or 4 Mary Monkhouses that I found. And I was like, well, okay, I still like the frame. She's still worth having for the frame. And then when I noticed on the back that the paper that is stuck on the back is the Maryport Advertiser. The Maryport Advertiser. From, now when you look at it, it's down as Cumberland, but I think it's down Cumbria. And so I looked again at Ancestry, and I found her. So I've been looking at her all day, and now I can't remember. I can't remember her name. But the reason that I'm excited about this now is because she was born in 1860. She stitched her sampler in 1872 when she was 12, and she died when she was 19 in 1879. So this was framed 2 years after she died. So I've probably even got a reasonable idea about who framed it actually, her brother. I think it was her brother. She had two brothers, one who died when he was 5, one who died, and one who survived. She died when she was 19, and then her brother Robert, who was the surviving third brother, went on to marry and have a family. And then his children, 2 of his children died really young as well. And I was talking to the lady who sold this, and she got it from a lady whose name was Marjorie Monkhouse. And I think I can work out where Marjorie comes in. I think Mary was Marjorie's great aunt. Yes, great aunt. But I think I might actually order Mary's death certificate, because all the way through the family there are children that die very young. Now I know that wasn't an uncommon thing, but in all the generations that I've looked at, 2 out of 3 have died. So it'll be very interesting to see if I can find out what Mary's cause of death was. So I think I might order her death certificate. So as I said, they're from Maryport. Her father is described as a master mariner. Her brother, her surviving brother, was either in the Navy or the merchant force, I think, but definitely a seaman as well. So yeah, super pleased to have her in my collection. The lady she belonged to lived to be 96 years old, so she didn't fall foul of the Monkhouse early death, and I believe she was a teacher as well, so it was nice to have her from that respect. As I said, lived to the ripe old age of 96, so yeah, I know where she came from, so I'm really happy with that. And that's me done for today. I will see you next week. Stay classy, Stitchers.